Parade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Would you sell your business if the price was right?
Ready for a change? Want more time for family or just not enjoying it anymore? First Choice Business Brokers of Northwest Florida can help. Connect your business with serious buyers locally, nationally, and internationally while keeping the process confidential. Get a free, no-obligation business evaluation today. Call Natalie Kessler, broker, First Choice Business Brokers of Northwest Florida at 850-588-1025. First Choice Business Brokers of Northwest Florida is an independent franchise of First Choice Business Brokers Incorporated.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Rise and Shine Campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, Starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub. I'm full of water. I stay hot tub. Stay hot tub. Gonna get you hot tub. I'm gonna make it wet. Stay hot tub.
Hey.
Rubber dub and hot tub. Rubber dub with me. Shake in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Really make me sweat.
Yeah.
Shake in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Really make me wet.
Well. Welcome and good morning to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. One of my favorite days. Every Thursday, we had the legendary Tommy Santamont when he's not out hunting and fishing and having a great time. Tommy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm here. About all I can say.
And you look at mighty fine to be 65
I woke up this morning and said, I know
old.
what, I'm going to go fishing this morning. That's the only reason I got up this early.
Well, are we going right after the show?
Yeah. I'm going to take you down the river.
All right.
Show you some alligators.
I got a van. We can go down by the van. There's no doubt about that. Jeremy, what's going on down at the church, buddy?
We're at First United Methodist Church, Panama City. We're gearing up. Easter's less than 3 weeks away now. I know people are making plans to go to worship. We'd love to have folks join us. We meet at 8:15, 9:30, 10:45 each Sunday. So.
He does an incredible job. Go visit. I guarantee you will enjoy it. He is the best at what he does. That's the reason he's on this station right now. Speaking of the best, he's walking some big shoes. Nobody can replace Tommy Santamont. People have tried.
Easy.
And we might have the next one, though. He's young like Tommy was when Tommy started out. Maybe we'll see him here 23 years from now. Unless he gets back in coaching. Who knows? Josh, how you doing?
Doing great. Good morning.
What's happening in Bay County?
A lot of baseball, a lot of softball. We are in the thick of the spring. We have track meets tomorrow at Tommy Oliver. We're heavy spring sports, and we're winding down some middle school stuff, and it's just a good time for sports.
Well, we got James on the board this morning, another Kentucky Wildcat. What's going on, Big Daddy?
Morning, everybody.
What's that shirt? Who is that? Is that a Steelers?
Got me a Dolphin Steeler today.
Oh, I thought that was a Steelers shirt.
It's close. Going to be more interceptions.
Do you like the quarterback of the Dolphins? That's the main question.
I think Tua has a chance at having some good career. It's just right now I am not seeing it, but he has to be the hope because you gave him the bag.
There you go. The Alabama boy. He's got to be good from Bama, right, Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get cranked up in the shows more, a couple things I do want to share, and then we'll talk about it more a little bit later. We got Coach on the phone. But before we jump into Coach, let's jump on something else. All kind of things being going around, said and sent around. I saw it. Takeover of Panama City Beach this weekend. The Sheriff's Department, everybody knows about it. Everybody's seen it. What's going on at Pier Park, 8 o'clock. They start a curfew. If you're not accompanied by a parent, were they 18 or younger, I think it was?
Yeah.
If you don't have a parent with you, you're gone. You're out of there. You're going to have to show proof of ID. There's going to be a lot of police presence everywhere. There, limited parking in certain places. But basically, we're saying we don't want you here. You're coming down here to tear things up and try to take over. You're going to be surprised this weekend. So be careful. A lot of people going to be out at Pier Park. A lot of deputies and things of that nature. It's going to be safe. It's going to be good. They're not going to put up with anything. They're going to have a hard time finding places to park, and if you're underage, you're going to be gone. So please be careful this weekend and know what's going on. When's this curfew, Jerry? I think it starts Friday and then Sunday morning.
I think that's right. Yeah, it's like a special event zone.
Do you know where the other parking places they're not going to be allowed?
I do not.
We'll try to find it. I think it's online. We'll try to get it to you before the day's out. All right, let's jump into sports real quick. We love this guy. Do you think it's his people from Montgomery coming down here? He relayed to any of these people?
No.
Okay. All right. Just curious. Just curious. Coach, how you doing this morning?
All right, man. How y'all doing?
We are doing great. We hadn't talked to you in a week. Tell us what's going on.
We had senior night. What's today? Thursday, Tuesday night. And, man, whew, I'm tired. I'm still tired.
Hey, Bobby, you got to let everybody know your tiredness is from your Junior Olympics victory the other week with all your elementary kids. That's why you're tired.
Hey, we three-peated this year, baby. Three-peat.
Three-peat. I love it.
North
awesome.
Bay Haven Elementary was locked in the whole time. They were great. They performed great. They had some good kids, man. It was fun.
Let's do that at Tommy Oliver.
Yep, Tommy Oliver.
I was worn out. I was going all around that track, man, coaching them all up. I was so tired. And then we played for that night. I didn't have any gas left. I was so worn out.
Oh, Bobby, had the Bluntstown Tigers in town. My former teammate and coach up there, M. Horn, whose son understands will be playing with the Rome Braves. This go around single A, high single A. But how'd you tell us about the ball game against the Tigers?
Well, they started a guy coached at Weewall. When I was at Weewall, he pitched for Weewall, so I knew the kid. He pitched really well. I think he threw a one-hit shutout against us. Or no, we scored some runs off of him, but he threw like a one or two hitter against us. He pitched really well. And they hit the ball. They hit the ball very well. People in scoring position, and we kind of had an off night. We left too many people on base, and we made a couple of errors that cost us a lot of runs. And we can't do that. I mean, if we make errors like that, it's kind of like the wheel starts coming off when you do that. And that's what happened. And they're a good team. They have a schedule, and we didn't pick up a lot of runs that we should have.
You mentioned that sort of fourth out when you give an error, and I don't think there's a sport that seems to penalize a mistake more than baseball. When you get that extra out, it does sort of send you down the spiral, and it's kind of hard to get out of. Pitchers then usually give up a walk, or it almost becomes a virus out there. Somebody boots the ball, and then somebody else boots one, and it's painful to watch. So I know Bluntstown's had a bit of a challenging year, not really up to the standards that they would want, but still a very, very solid ball club. So you get a chance to bounce back tonight in a big one. So how was your practice yesterday getting ready for the Tornadoes tonight?
It went really well. We're winding down, and we're throwing probably our best pitcher tonight. Sam Compton. He gives us a chance every time he goes out there. So I'm looking forward to it. The kids, they are too, and it's a big rivalry. And I think we'll be okay tonight.
Well, y'all had them on the ropes early in the year and kind of let them get away. So I would have to think there's a little bit of a motivation for you boys going into this one.
There is, and we play well at times, and then there's times where we look like we hadn't played in a while. And a lot of that has to do with your inexperienced players. And I know that, but sometimes it's kind of frustrating. But you just have to live through that and learn from your mistakes and move on when you have such a young group, a group of boys. So,
one more thing here. That game is at Bay. You and I were kind of having this conversation the other night when we were together, but do you think that they get a little more focused when they're going in as the visiting team, a little more hostile environment? Do you sense that with this team, or do you feel like they, kind of like the friendly confines of playing there at your beautiful, facilities?
Well, I think they're more comfortable playing, at our facility. But when you play just down the road, they're used to it. It's not, I think it's not a big deal. I really don't think it's a big deal. The kids adjust because it's local. If it was, a long ways away and you had to adjust because of travel and that sort of thing, I think it matters. But as far as it being in town, I don't think it really bothers them.
Hey, Bobby, Tommy St. Amant. Good morning, sir.
Hey, man.
Listen, my granddaughter goes to North Bay Haven. I pick her up several days a week, and going over there on your complex. When you think about when North Bay Haven started, there was nothing out there. Now, I guess you have a great booster club because your facilities are looking really good out there.
Yeah, we put a lot of work in it. 2 years ago. Each year I tried to improve it since I've been there, and it's just as good as any other school in Panama City. I think it's better. We've got now nice batting cages. Our fields a long ways, and we're right there with everybody. I'm proud of the progress we've made.
Do you play? I know you players help keep up the field and all. Is that how? Do they still doing a good job with that too?
Yeah, they got certain responsibilities, and then if they don't fulfill those responsibilities, there's polls involved the next day. So they kind of understand that if that's not done, there's consequences. So they do a good job. They've learned their lessons.
The only problem over there is they need to pave that parking lot. It drives me crazy.
I about lose a tire every time I go through there.
I know.
I fix it about once a month.
I'm glad I got a four-wheel drive truck to get through there.
Yeah.
Bobby, I was going to ask you, as the year's going on, where have you seen the most improvement? What are you pleased with the most?
You talking about with our whole team?
Yeah, just overall.
I would probably say the younger guys are starting to understand the game a little better. At first, they didn't understand all the little things that go into it. A lot of those guys are used to travel ball, and a lot of that stuff's not taught, so they're not used to those things, those little things that make a difference in those close games. And I think they're starting to understand that part of the game better. So I think that's helping us when we get in these tight games, that they know now what to look for and what to do before they didn't. So that's why I think we were losing some of those games. So I think now if we get in those games again, I think those guys will make a better decision on what they're supposed to do.
Since you've been at North Bay Haven, how's it been over there? You know, all the other schools in the county, you see a lot of movement. It's like we talk about all the time, it's a lot tougher to get in your school. It has been in the past anyway. As far as kids staying and leaving, are you pleased with that, or has it been pretty good about most of the guys staying there for 3 or 4 years?
That's not a good situation. We lose a lot of kids, to be honest with you. And I was thinking this morning a lot of that. My own opinion, I just wish we would change some of the rule stipulations they have with the FHSAA, and that goes back to the NCAA too, about this transfer situation. I'm not in favor of a lot of that stuff, because it's not just affecting us. It's affecting a lot of these smaller schools like Mariana, Cottondale, Bluntstown, all those sort of things.
Yeah.
And I just like, if you are going to transfer, that's great and all, but you're going to have to sit a year if you're going to transfer.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand what we are teaching these kids in high school and college. It's okay, you got to learn how to work harder, to be able to play. If you're not satisfied with that situation, well, maybe you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, maybe I need to do a better job of getting myself ready to play. Or, I just feel like something needs to be done about that.
Well, it's just like you go to war. You fight for the United States of America, and you say, oh, man, China's got a lot of people. I think I'm going to transfer over there. They got a better chance. I get where you're coming from. Hey, listen, buddy, we got to take a break. Thank you for coming on this morning. I know you're busy. Good luck to you. Closer and closer to the end of the season. I can't believe it. You take care, okay?
All right, thank y'all, guys.
Hey, have a good one.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people, man. We got so many of them. Steve, I tell you, Pat Pernell over there does an incredible job. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Yesterday, their special was 10 wings inside. This weekend, Final Four. Get it to Beef O'Brady's. You're in Lynn Haven. Go out there and watch the games from there. You'll have a great time. Customer service is unbelievable. Pat, the city commissioner of Lynn Haven, does an incredible job. But his restaurant, the way he's got those people trained up is incredible. They treat you, it's like that old Cheers show. It's like they know your name. They treat you like family there. The food's unbelievable. Everything you get there is great. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. Go check it out. Tell them Coach sent you. If you want jewelry, go see Russ and Amber. They do a great job over there. You're right by Beef O'Brady's. Head on down there and see David Adams. They do a great job down there. And also skin, we talk about all the time. You women out there, protect your skin. Breast cancer, skin cancer, two deadliest things you got to deal with. Dr. Ward can solve one of them. There's office throughout the Panhandle of Florida. It takes 5 minutes. If it doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, go see Dr. Ward. Don't put it off. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest. We got James behind the glass. We got Josh. We got Tommy. We got Jeremy. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Doug Lee up next. Mosley baseball.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered deep right. He jumped on one and hits a homer.
We're your exclusive radio home for the Atlanta Braves.
At the wall. It is gone. A grand slam for Acuna.
Hear every exciting home run, every strikeout, and every thrilling victory on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 78 with a strong breeze out of the south-southeast at 23 miles per hour and gusts of 33 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 69. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some sun and a temperature near 79. Moving into Saturday, the same with a high of 79 and partly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. The road is yours. Let spring adventures begin in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and check out the 2025 SUV family. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. And now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at Bill Bird Kia, PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust at Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. $1,748 per month per 1,000 financed in 60 months. Qualities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/30/25.
And here we go. The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekday evening 6 to 10. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget this weekend, March Madness, the Final Four. You can listen to it right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. All you need to know about the Auburn Tigers Florida football game, we'll have Andy Burcham on. We'll have Andy Burcham on at 8:15 right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And we'll ask him all you need to know about the big game coming up. The big games, there are a lot of big games. Anytime Doug Lee's involved with something that's big, Mosley baseball every Thursday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Let's bring him on right now. Doug, how you doing this morning?
Doing great, Coach. How you doing this morning?
I got a question for you. I don't like this. Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles have beaten Ole Miss like a drum. And I look at the polls, we're behind them, and all these college baseball polls. We beat them head-to-head. I know we're not in the SEC, but I don't like that. Are you having to deal with that right now in the state of Florida? Are you guys ranked where you think you should be? Because I think Southern Mississippi should be ranked higher. What about the Mosley Dolphins? Where are you guys located? Do you feel pretty good about where you're at?
Yeah, I think I feel good about us. I don't know much about the NCAA polls how those work. Trying to figure out the FXSA polls is sometimes a challenge, but I feel very pleased where we're at right now. We've talked about it as a team, addressed it with us. We've got really 6 really important games still ahead of us that will play into it, but we're right where we want to be. And going into this season, I didn't know if we'd be where we're at, but we're very pleased with our team's at right now, and really feel good about it.
Hey, Doug, Jeremy, good morning. Looking, down the line, you mentioned these 6 games left. You got 3 out of 5 that when you show up, it's going to have a playoff-type atmosphere when you got South Walton and Bozeman and then the road trip up to Enterprise. I do want to ask you one question here. With the out-of-state opponent pretty late in the season, I know you played a number of them during spring break, but Enterprise is close by. This, big power in Alabama. How do you feel about the number of contests the FHSAA allows relative to kind of our neighboring states? I officiated up in Alabama, and it was nothing for a team to play 35, 40 contests in a ball game, and here
I lost you, Jeremy.
I'm losing him on the cell phone there. So
I'm sorry. I think I got you back. Somehow I'm driving. I think I hit a spot. I'm so sorry.
You're all right. I was talking about the number of contests.
I heard a little bit about Enterprise there.
Yeah, and across the state line there, they get to play a lot more contests during the year than you do. But do you feel like you are postseason ready, or would you prefer to have more games during the regular season, like Alabama allows or Georgia allows? But what are your thoughts kind of on that?
Yeah, I would. I would love to play more during the regular season. Anytime you play more, I think it gives you an opportunity to develop and, feel really good about who you are and your identity by postseason time. But anytime, would love to play more. They voted for that and for whatever reason turned it down this past year. But I still think there's some talk about it. I don't know if it'll happen, but I would definitely be in favor of playing more games.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Doug, Tommy Sainamont, good morning.
Hey, Mr. Sainamont.
Listen, I saw y'all put it on Rutherford, man. What was y'all doing? Was y'all great pitching or great hitting, or both?
Well, I tell you what, we got up 5-0, and then they put a 5 spot on us, and
really?
So it was 5-5 after the third. So
wow.
So and then we ended up having a really good inning offensively. So the game was a little closer than people really thought. The final score indicated, honestly, there for a minute there. So we had a pretty bad inning and let them back in it. But that's a credit to Coach Coffin. Coach Coffin does a really good job. I know a lot of people did not know Coach. He's not from here, but he's done a really good job at Rutherford. I'm glad Rutherford's got him over there.
Yeah, good deal.
Good morning, Coach. It's Josh Latch. How's it going?
Hey, Coach Latch, how you doing?
Hey, man, good. So can you give us an update on your district, kind of how teams are shaping out around the region, and kind of as we cast a vision for playoffs, just give us an update on how teams in your district are doing.
Yeah, so, Lincoln obviously is still the 1 seed. Right now we're shaking out as the 2, Childs is 3, and Leon 4. And, of course, all 4 of us are really, really good. Childs, I know we played them well earlier in the year. But I tell you, they're kind of like us. They're playing really well, and we've talked that about our team too, preparing to see them that first round in the district tournament probably. We really would like to host that, and so these next 5 games in the regular season are huge to keep us in that spot to hopefully host it instead of having to travel their place. But I think it's going to be a really good baseball district tournament, and if we can win that first one, I still like our chance against Lincoln. Lincoln is a very good ball club, well publicized, obviously, but we did not throw either one of our 1 or 2s that night, and for several reasons. So, if we just got to concentrate on who we are and do the things we can control, and like I said, let the chips fall where they may.
All the coaches we have come on, some of them mentioned it, how you guys have improved as the year is going on. We knew it happened. I mean, you do a great job coaching, and your team's kind of young. Talk about the improvement you've seen, because I keep hearing they're getting better and better every game.
Well, they play hard. That's one. That's really the main thing we've asked them to do is just play hard. I really don't put a lot of stock on wins or losses. I really believe the wins will take care of themselves if we play hard and control the things we do, eliminate mental mistakes and all the things of that nature. But it starts with our pitching staff. I mean, Carter Payne, he's our number 1 guy. He had a complete game the other night. Ryan Harless has had a great year on the mound. We've got guys out of the bullpen with Peyton Stokes and Christian Zedeker, and Chase Wood has been a 3-star, which, to have 3 guys is, kind of unusual. I know South Walton has that pleasure, and several others around here, but our pitch staff's been really good. And then offensively, we've done enough to manufacture some runs, and Reed Kyle is a junior. He's hitting over 400. Brady Lee has had a great year offensively. Really didn't expect that, but he's done a great job. Ryan Horse has always been the guy in the plate. Peyton Williams, Xavier Demro. Some of those guys, they've helped us at the top of that lineup, get us going. And the lower half of our lineup has been able to get on bases to give those guys opportunity to drive and run.
So, Doug, tonight, heading up to Mariana, play the Bulldogs up there. A team that has kind of picked up a little bit of momentum. Obviously, when you see that they beat a Wakulla, I mean, that's something you kind of take note of. That's a pretty strong program. And who you throwing and kind of leading into the Enterprise game? What's your plan for that this weekend?
So Ryan Horst gets the ball tonight, and again, we've talked about that. You're exactly right, Jeremy. Mariana's playing really well. They've played people tough. They beat Wakulla last night, and Wakulla beat Lincoln early in the year. So there's something to be said there. So again, we're going to their place, playing on the road is always tough. So we'll have our hands full, but again, we expect a great outing out of Ryan tonight, and hope to get some guys on and get some manufacturing run.
Doug, Tommy again. Look, you didn't coach Hudson Rowan, did you?
No, I was just here for his last 3 years here.
I undoubtedly, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's, as a pitcher, and this, the mental aspects is very important. When you have a couple of bad games, it just seems like it snowballs. And I think that's what Hudson's just having a terrible year this year at FSU.
Well, I love Hudson Rowan. Comes from a great family. There's no harder worker than Hudson Rowan. And I believe in him. I really do. I've seen him do it. And it is such a mental game. It really is. We've talked to our guys about that. Yep. It's just not playing in fear, and it's hard. It's hard for me as an adult sometimes to play with confidence and fearless and all the things. When you're trying to decide which should you bunt or hit or whether bunt or steal or whatever. But you got to take a risk, and you can't play the game with fear. So, I still believe Hudson Rowan's best days are ahead of him as a pitcher. I really do, and I think he'll figure it out.
I agree too. That's right.
Doug, we got about a minute, then we got to take a break. But I think that I'm going to ask you, but I think I already know the answer. Everybody complains about the school of choice. They like the old way, the community schools. It caused a lot of bad blood, bad feelings. Everybody transferring to all these different schools. You've worked at the county level. You're back now coaching. Do you ever think it'll go back? Do you ever think they'll get back together and go, look, we're going to go back to community schools. We're going to play in this community. I don't think it ever will, but do you think it might one day go back to that?
I do not think it will. I think people want to be able to make choices, and I think people are going to allow them to be able to make choices. I see there's advantages and disadvantages, and that may be with every scenario or situation, but it does help some kids maybe who may not make a team in that situation. For that reason, I like it. For other reasons, I think it just makes it tough on coaches in this day and age as far as we have to make a choice. Are we going to, still hold people accountable and do what we think's right with the discipline side of it, or do we compromise and because we're afraid of losing a player or, whatever? It's tough. I admire coaches that do it in this day and world we live in. You see people getting out of it every day. And being back in it, I've experienced it firsthand. So I'm enjoying it. I love it, but it definitely has changed a lot since the first time I did it, and some of it's because of school choice.
Well, Doug, you take care of yourself. Tell your brother I said hello. Good luck to you this week. We'll talk to you next Thursday, okay?
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks for all y'all do.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, listen, if you're looking for a great place to have a birthday party, a big get-together, maybe some Hall of Famer walks in the studio, maybe you can take him there. The legendary El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, right across the street from Navy Base. Dave has opened up a new one down on Front Beach Road. Go check it out. But this is a great place to have birthday parties. Karaoke every Thursday night. Happy hour, buy one, get one free. Great food, great atmosphere. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You want to look better, feel better? the legendary Jason Kovalevsky can make it happen for you. Locals taking care of locals. He grew up here. Mother, full ride scholarship in basketball and I think tennis at Ohio State. She's a big Buckeye. She'll be in there also, can help you out. Get down and check it out. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, two places, Pier Park, 23rd Street, and the legendary J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, the coldest beer. Yesterday we went there twice. Glenn Manley, Brian was there, LSU, Jeff. We had a great time down there. The legendary J. Michael's. Go check it out. Every day, ice cold beer. The legendary J. Michael's. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We get back, Tommy Santamont, State Hall of Famer. When we get back, he's going to talk to you about the Florida State Seminoles.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
They're not all lovey-dovey. How you see like in the NBA, everybody wants to be everybody's friend and dap them up and hug them and stuff. That there is a rivalry there. And that's what I want to see in sports. I want to see in sports where I want to destroy you. My competition, I don't want us to be friends. You're on the other side. You're wearing the other team's colors. I don't like you. I hate you, and I want to embarrass you.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Here at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you celebrate the graduate in your life with a personalized gift that expresses who she is to that special touch that symbolizes her style. Tracy's Fine Jewelry has a perfect gift that's as unique as your graduate, including monogram milestones that will personalize her style with a special touch that she will cherish for a lifetime. Let's celebrate the class of 2025 with a gift from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, putting a sparkle on Bay County for over 50 years.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Now back to the most dangerous radio show in the Gulf Coast. Coach James Hale. He's so dangerous. He doesn't even check his eggs at the grocery store.
Danger's my middle name.
I'm bad to the bone, honey.
2 tickets to the gun show.
We're live from the J. Michaels studio on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! FSU update. Here's brought to you by the one and only Newbies. Not 1, not 2. We got 4 great locations. St. Andrews, the new beautiful blue facility, got outside fire pits. Great place to be. Go over there and have a great time. Glenn loves over there. Didn't have to drive over to the beach. Now, if you're on Panama City Beach, get out to one of the 3 Newbies. Newbies 2 on the curve. Go watch March Madness. All the professional baseball, college baseball, basketball, everything's going on at Newbies 2. Then head on down to the mothership, Miss Newbies. They're going to have the best entertainment every single night. Spring break's going on. Sharps, make sure you got great entertainment for all you spring breakers. Go have a great time and act right and do the right things. Tell them Coach sent you. Josh, before we get into FSU, you got some news.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Bay High School baseball. John Hudson, Jimmy Bukowski over there, clinching the district #1 seed last night with their 5-4 victory over Rutherford, which was a great game. So shout out to John Hudson, man. That's a great turnaround that he's doing over there.
We always say wherever he goes, this is not if he's going to win. When will he win? That's the question. And now the question is, Tommy Santamont, what do you have for us today on Florida State?
I have a lot today. We'll start with baseball. Tuesday night, FSU played Jacksonville University in Tallahassee. And Hudson Rowan started the game. Our kid from Mosley, and as I mentioned to Doug a while ago, he's just having a. I don't know what's going on, but they're real high on him. I mean, he's a great pitcher. He walked 3 people, hit one, and he got one out and walked 3, and I think he had infield. So they took him out in the first inning. And they took 2 pitchers to get out of the first inning for him, and JU was up 5-0 after the first inning. And of course, they eventually won. FSU won 11-10, but they used 11 pitchers in that game, Jeremy. 11 pitchers.
He loves a pitch and change.
Man, I'm telling you what, in their bullpen, I don't know what's going on with them. Coach Posey, I don't know what he's doing over there, but they're having problems with their bullpen. It's just not very good at all. And then starting Friday, they've got a 3-game series with Wake Forest. That should be good. Friday they play at 8, Saturday at 4, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock. And then after the 3-game series, they go down to the UF, University of Florida, and play April 8th. They play Tuesday at 7 p.m. down in Gainesville with the Gators. So they got quite a schedule coming up with them. But they're pitching their bullpen. I don't know if it don't get any better. They're 24-4 right now, number 4. But I don't know how that's going to last if they don't get their bullpen straightened out. Find someone that can pitch out of the bullpen. In softball, there was a really good game with Florida last night. They beat Florida 4-0. And Lonnie Alameda, I don't know if y'all probably heard, she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. No. And that was something she just got diagnosed, and she's taking chemo and still with the team, and such a real emotion. They said even the officials were crying last night. And to give Florida credit, they came out with pink shirts to warm up for her. And
that's
it was a real close, very emotional game last night. And give credit to the University of Florida for being such a class team for doing all that. And but they said it.
Tommy,
was,
they say how old she is?
She's probably in her 50s.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I hate that for her.
And FSU's got a 3-game series softball with Virginia. They play Friday. And this is in Tallahassee. They play Friday at 6, Saturday at 1, and Sunday at noon. And right now they're 34-5. They have 4 pitchers, but they don't have a real. If they had a real dominant pitcher, they could go somewhere this year. But they got great. They hit the ball real well. But they got 4 pitchers. Good pitchers, but they have to use them during the game. Sort of like Link Jarrett in the baseball team. In football, I was mentioning y'all earlier, Roydale Williams, from Alabama.
Roll Tide, baby.
The kid that came in last year got a lower body injury and had to sit out almost all the games. He did play a little bit in the Florida game there at the end, but he could have, and they assumed he was going to probably leave Florida State, but he decided he took a red shirt and going to come back next year. And they say he's doing really, really well. He's 215 pounds, and
he did a great job at Alabama.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
And he did change his jersey from 24 to 5. He's number 5 now.
Okay.
So he's Malzahn. In him, Roydale loves Malzahn. He's very impressed with him, and he says Malzahn comes to practice every day all fired up, and said he's bringing juice to the offense out there. So. He's real high, and I think that's one of the reasons he's staying at FSU.
Yeah.
And, of course, Malzahn, they had their scrimmage. It's 60-40. He runs 60%, pass 40%. That's a common thing with Malzahn. He wants to establish that run, as everybody knows. And quickly in basketball, Luke Laus, the head basketball coach, has got 3 new transfer portal kids. Chauncey Wiggins from Clemson, a 6'11 forward. Kobe McGee from Drexel, and Jay Jones from St. Bonaventure. Those are 3 kids they just signed in to play at basketball at FSU. So he's going to rely on transfer portal. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to, and knowing that, that goes either way.
Yeah, I keep talking about it, and I do. I really like the hire of Gus Malzahn's offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah,
I think he's going to surprise people. The ones, first we were going back and forth about it. I think he's going to surprise people. The guy did a great job at Auburn. He had all that success against Saban compared to everybody else. It wasn't even close.
Think about him now. He loves football. He's doing something now that
Yeah.
All he's got to do is
call
offense.
plays.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's what he loved to do. And Tony White, the defensive coordinator, is a great coach too.
And you know what? If they were putting pressure on him in Central Florida to get out as the head coach, he could have got another head coaching job.
Yeah, he could have.
I'm with you. I think he said the heck with it, the NIL, all the other stuff you got to deal with. We saw at UCLA, he left and went to Ohio State. It worked out pretty good for the Buckeyes.
Yep.
I think it's going to work out good for FSU. And that running back they got, Jeremy, we watched him in Alabama. I thought he was a really good running back. I always liked that kid.
I liked him. Hard-nosed.
Good character kid, plays hard. I didn't realize he was banged up like that so much. Because I was wondering, we didn't hear much about him. I didn't know how bad it was.
And they don't say anything about it, especially Norvell. He doesn't say anything about injury. He won't tell you anything about him. He let it go. And, they got that Usman Chroma, that kid's going to be a freshman coming in. He's not there yet. He'll be there in summer. He is a stud. Now, I'm telling you, you wait and see. He's going to be.
What position is he?
He's a running back.
Okay.
I mean, he's a stud.
All right, what are you hearing? Because you get the little inside there. What are you hearing about quarterback? How are they performing? How they look?
Yeah. They really high on that Smidgel, the freshman. He's been doing real well. Of course, Castellanos, he's really fit in with the team real well, and they all like him. Which last year that wasn't the case. We didn't know all that, but this year they're really high on.
We knew something was wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But out of all three of them, which one fits his offense the best? The running and
Castellanos is just like Jordan Travis, very similar. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball.
If he's good as he is, watch out.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And they got some great receivers. So
did you get to watch him practice?
I hadn't yet, but I'm gonna see if I can get over there. It's real hard to get in there now. They don't want anybody much, but I'll get my nephew to see if I can get in there.
I'll give you one of my Alabama hats. That'll help.
All right, what are you hearing about the offensive line? That's the key. Can they knock people off the ball? How good are they going to be up front on both sides?
Yeah, you don't hear a whole bunch, but that Pettis kid is. I think he's either guard or center. I think he's doing real well, and they'll undoubtedly running the ball because I see in some of the snippets about the practices that they're breaking some runs on there. And of course, that's Malzahn for you.
Yeah.
He's gonna have an offense that you can run the ball. He's gonna sure try real hard.
Yeah.
So, but if the offensive line doesn't perform, we all know that Castellanos is going to be running all over the place back there trying to make some plays. But
and honestly, when you run the option type offense, you get away with some of it because you're not blocking some of the best players. You read those guys.
That's right.
I'm looking forward. Well, what's Norvell? What do you hear about him for? Is he for spring football? I know they want spring practice, but like spring games and stuff. What's his?
I think he's still in for that. But again, he's got a new role this year too. He's more of the cheerleader, and he's always been that. He's high energy. He's like he goes nuts out there at practice. But he's more of the administrator now instead of the coach. And it's like you say. I'm very pleased with Malzahn. I think he's going. Yeah. People going to be surprised, I think.
I want to go back real quick because we got this situation with the softball. They beat Florida. Did they have a chance to be really good?
Who, Florida? FSU?
Baseball, softball. Yeah.
The pitching has come along a lot because the first of the year they didn't have it.
Yeah.
In softball, you got to have a a pitcher and a good catcher.
It seems like they're getting better and better, though.
Yeah, they are. They're getting better. The pitchers are getting better. They got four girls that can just good pitchers. But you just like in baseball, they run. If they don't do well, they take them out and put somebody else in there.
Yeah.
But
I'm so used to them being a power, and Jeremy, it's like Alabama softball was a power. I was just thinking the record's not like it's been in the past. I'm just hoping they're like FSU. They just keep getting better and better.
Offensively, they've got a good hitting team. They can hit the ball.
The piece with softball, I really think that has changed is the hitting has now caught up with the pitching. Yeah. You don't have the dominant pitchers. I mean, even the Tennessee lady throwing 78 miles an hour, still having ball hit.
Well, you know what happened? They went up to the Yankees and got those new bats.
The torpedo bats.
The torpedo bats are everywhere, man. Are we allowing those in Bay County?
They are taking over the storm everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's.
I wonder what they charge for them.
I don't know, but the margins in fast pitch softball are even tighter than baseball. because one run often seals the ball game.
Yeah.
You know, we talked with Bobby about the fourth out. Well, you get a fourth out in fast pitch softball, you may win a 1-0, 2-1 ball game.
FSU, they put up 3 in the first inning. They home run and a 3-1 home run. So
turn out the lights.
Yeah, that's right. That was it.
All right, we get back. I'm going to ask you about spring football. We got basketball. So we got all kinds of stuff going on right here. I'm shocked. We had a legend walk in here. Joe Hampton, Hall of Famer from Southwest Florida, walked in the door. The police security was with him. No wonder Pier Park's got all these sheriff's departments coming down there. He's here in town. Unbelievable. Also, let's talk about some of our great people. We all know, everybody in this room knows him. The legend, Chad Mitchell. The guy is incredible. People come all around to be operated on by Chad Mitchell. He does it robotic. And this robotic deal is less cutting. Your healing time bounces back quicker. It's just the new thing is coming, and Chad was trained in it before anybody else. The guy is incredible. The legendary Chad Mitchell. You listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Josh, this will be his 26th year on Bay District Schools taking care of athletes. Did you ever see that in Birmingham? I've never seen it anywhere. Southwest Florida, Central Florida, we never had this. This guy truly is giving back to the community, and we love what you guys did for him, recognizing him last year at Arnold High School.
Wish we could do more. He's much deserving.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And also Stevenson Air Conditioning. We talk about locals. There's nobody better than locals, and that is Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason and his crew do an incredible job. He graduated from Mosley High School. He started this business, takes a lot of pride in it. The most honest, hardworking guy I know. They tell you they're going to be there. They're there. They get the work done. It's incredible, and they don't charge. They're fair. They're honest. They are great people. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. You want your power bill to go down? Get it serviced about every 6 months. Make sure you go with Stevenson Air Conditioning. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got James, Tommy, Jeremy, Josh, Joe Hampton. Unbelievable. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 78 with a strong breeze out of the south-southeast at 23 miles per hour and gusts of 33 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 69. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some sun and a temperature near 79. Moving into Saturday, the same with a high of 79 and partly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Do you want to eat like a local? The Local 115 is now open. Local drinks, local sports, and local food. Delicious oysters, crab cakes, steamed seafood, gumbos, salads, paninis, wings, wine, and cold beer. Nothing fried. That's right. No fried foods at Local 115. Amazing local food with an exciting local sports and mural theme. Eat like a local at the Local 115. 115 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
Introducing Saltgrass at Ward Creek by Culture Homes, a new home community opening soon in Panama City Beach. You're invited to the grand opening weekend, April 12th and 13th of this new community and 2 brand new designer decorated model homes. Thoughtfully designed homes with modern features and flexible floor plans with hundreds of personalized options, all just minutes from Pier Park, shopping, dining, and the beach. It's your chance to be a part of something new built around you. Preview homes at culturesaltgrass.com.
For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I got to ask you guys something about This college football, we hit on it a little bit yesterday. Deion Sanders and Syracuse head football coach, they wanted to have to get together and do spring practice like the NFL and have a spring game. They were going to do study hall together. They asked the NCAA for permission. They turned them down. And Syracuse head coach said, look, we would have sold out playing at Colorado. We'd have made money. We could have split it. It's another way to get revenue. You got half the coaches in close that door. Half the coaches want completely out of spring games because everybody's scared to death about players still in their other coaches still in their players and all this kind of thing. But traditionally, we've always had these spring football games. People really enjoy going there. The families can go because some schools, they don't even charge us. Some they charge $5. I still think at Alabama it's free. Isn't it free?
I think it is.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike Gundy made a great point. He wanted to play Oklahoma in the spring game. He wanted to do the exact same thing that Colorado and Syracuse was doing. Well, he just came out and said, hey, he questions the power of the NCAA. He said, what are they going to do if we do it anyway? What are they going to do? What power do they have anyway? This is a head coach in the past would never say that about the NCAA. Josh, you're in this business. What would be wrong with the ones that want to do it, not let them do it? Why would the NCAA say no?
I think it's a power struggle because they know they're millimeters away from opening up a can of worms. I mean, it gets so tricky. I mean, you got to have some kind of standard, but like you said, and the Syracuse guy said, at the end of the day, if it's an opportunity to make money for your program, and in the fall, because schedules are 5 years out in advance. Right. Make them 3 to 5 years out. Well, if Syracuse and Colorado want to play a game, spring's a great time to do it. I know a lot of high school programs who don't want to play in the regular season, they usually just play in the spring so that they can compete against each other and check it off the list. But if it's an opportunity to make money, I know that's a hard sell, to try to put your foot in the dirt.
Did the NCAA give a reason for denying it, or did they just come out and say no? They
could just say no. Yeah, they don't have to give.
They don't have to give reasons.
But the bottom line, Gundy's got a point. If they play it, and he says, "The hell with you," we're going to play it. What are they going to do?
It's like, what's the fine? So
yeah, and if you don't play the fine, what are they going to do?
Yeah,
they have no power anymore, and that's what he's more or less saying. Look, we should just kind of do what we want to do. Jeremy, where's this going to go in the future? We know why they don't want to do it. Dabo's old-fashioned. I like the old-fashioned guys. We've had spring football. We're going to continue to do football. It's a tradition. We're going to do it. And you got the other ones. The guy at Nebraska Rules, kind of one of the first one got it going. Ashley Lane did it at Ole Miss last year. Had a basketball shooting contest instead of playing a spring game. They don't want anybody stealing their players, but they still can come after them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a free-for-all. And I think this is just another example of that right now, that, the rules are being rewritten as we speak, and you kind of making it up as you go and do what works best for you and your program.
Did you ever think at Auburn and in Alabama, the football capital of the South, did you ever think you'd see them not have a spring football game because they were worried about somebody taking their players?
No, this is a new day. I mean, just for so long, it's been so regimented, so, kind of expected, and now it'll settle, but it's going to take a little while. And who's going to determine what that looks like? That's the bigger question.
And I keep saying all the time, is heading for they're going to be employees. You have them you have to have them under contract. If you don't have them under contract, you're still going to have everybody leaving and going back and forth. The NFL, they own a day of the week. We need to copy everything they do, and that'll solve all problems. They're still waiting for this settlement deal to work out. Have you guys heard anything, if they got any closer to that?
No.
Yeah. So I don't know what the big holdup is.
But you get close to the point here when you can make the comparison to the NFL. The NFL's managing a brand, and everybody's bought into the brand. You've got this constellation of conferences, and that creates the dynamic now. How can you centralize it when the conference commissioners wield more influence and really more power as you move through the collegiate ranks?
All right, here's the latest, Jeremy, SEC power rankings. They look at everything, schedule, offense, defense, all the whole works. Here's their rankings. And we know it's totally different how the standings are right now, but here are the power rankings. Number one team in the SEC is Tennessee. They're also number one team in the country. You look at the top 10, it's all, I think, 8 are SEC. Number 2, the Georgia Bullet. What about, you talking about, they need to go to Georgia and find out how to hit the ball. If you're having hard time in here getting your kids to hit the baseball, go to Georgia's baseball coaching clinic, because I'm telling you what, they got more home runs or had more home runs than anybody in the country. They're knocking the heck out of the baseball. They're doing a great job. They're number 2. Number 3, Arkansas. They're loaded. Arkansas's got a great baseball team. Number 4, and I think Arkansas is ranked ahead of Georgia in some of these polls. Number 4, the Texas Longhorns with their new baseball coach. Number 5, LSU. Number 6, Alabama. What about the Crimson Tide?
I'm impressed. You want
to keep that for your next?
Yeah, I'll speak into it a little bit, but we're hopefully seeing some of that improvement. They're starting to play with the big boys.
And Ole Miss is ranked number 7th in the SEC power rankings. They're ranked different polls. They're ahead of Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi did beat them head to head pretty good, and Southern Mississippi's got a great team, but Ole Miss is still ranked ahead of them. I don't get that. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Auburn. Auburn's kind of struggling a little bit this year in baseball. Number 10, Vandy. Number 11, Kentucky. And you never know with Vandy. At the end of the year, who knows what they can do. They're one year they're unbelievable, and next year they're average. Number 12, the big surprise, the Florida Gators, but it's a long year. And they played an unbelievably tough schedule, so don't throw them out the water yet on them. Who knows? Number 13, South Carolina. Number 14, you know how good your league is when number 14 is Mississippi State.
Yep.
You know, they won the national championship, 2 or 3 years ago? And number 15, Texas A&M. Number 16, Missouri. The only team in the SEC is really not that good in baseball is probably Missouri. What do you think?
They're not one you hear of.
All right. What do you think about the situation? Texas A&M, their coach left, goes to Texas. Texas A&M's got the same kids coming back pretty much anyway, and they were ranked preseason 1, 2, whatever poll you're looking at. They were way up there, and it's like the wheels have kind of come off that.
Yeah. And this is part of that sort of fickleness of collegiate, sports right now. And it's not just you're relegated there to Texas. I mean, with the coaches leaving, and we had the occasion of one of the schools up in the Carolinas, and the coach got hired. Was it Ohio State? The whole program just left.
Yeah.
So one season to the next is certainly not going to have any bearing now, and that's even true now in baseball. So, not a surprise. But the flip side is your potential to bounce is there.
Yeah.
As long as you can put enough money toward it.
Let me ask you this. We just saw Texas A&M basketball coach. Did that surprise you? Usually,
not at all.
The money, what is it, is football the king, baseball the king, or is it just Maryland's a better job?
Knowing Buzz, if you look at his coaching history, he's really good at building programs and then dipping. He's done that the last 2 to 3 jobs he's been at. So he's a great coach, great guy. Really, really respect him. But I think that's just kind of his vision, and his kind of goal is to take a program, build it, and then bounce. It's kind of his pattern.
And then you see A&M go after Ole Miss's basketball coach. He says, no way. NIL, he wants more money. They promised him that. They promised the same thing to Lane Kiffin. They came across. Look at Ole Miss football is really good. Is A&M, I mean, that with all the money at A&M, they be turned down by Ole Miss's coach. The baseball coach leaves to go to is something there we don't know about?
Well, when you are coach at Ole Miss, with all due respect to your Southern Miss Golden Eagles, you're still at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Texas A&M is still in the shadow of Texas.
You think
right, and you got to think about the dynamic SEC to SEC. Like he's like Beard is building something. I think he wants to see it through.
All right, we got to take a break real quick. I want to talk about this. Steve's Bike Shop. I tell you what, I'll talk about when we get back. Steve's Bike Shop. You love bikes. We'll talk about it in just a second. Go ahead, James. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Alabama Crimson Tide. Jeremy Pritchard. We'll get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Magic plays here.
Tonight, the Orlando Magic land in Washington to take on the last place Wizards. We'll have live play-by-play from the Capital One Arena coming up at 6 right here.
Your new home for select Orlando Magic games. The NBA is on. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 78 with a strong breeze out of the south-southeast at 23 miles per hour and gusts of 33 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 69. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning, followed by some sun and a temperature near 79. Moving into Saturday, the same with a high of 79 and partly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
I don't always talk to Alabama fans, but when I do, I ask for large fries. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bum, 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 bum. Roll Tide, roll. Real quick before we get Alabama update in, we got to talk about a couple people. The Vandegrift family, you know them really well.
Very well.
Josh, you know them. Don, Judy, what wonderful people they are. Legendary family here in Bay County. Kyle, their son, has done some incredible things. The local 115, they got their partners down there, and they opened this restaurant up. It's kind of like the Bay County Hall of Fame. You go there, there are pictures of athletes, and every sport across the board is incredible. Band members, cheerleaders, you name it, everything. I love the 1966 Bay High School rosters there. Really cool. The food's outstanding. It's a healthier option, nothing fried. They got the best crab cakes you'll get anywhere. The gumbo's outstanding. Jeremy and I, we've been down there, Tommy, all of us. Great place to go watch all kinds of sporting events. That's the local 115 downtown historical Bay County, Panama City. Also, he owns another business that's incredible. TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design, they build it, commercial, residential. They can do anything. But I'm going to talk about the roofing end of it. They do an incredible job of that. That's who I'm going to go with. TK Vandy Roofing. Kyle Vandegrift, number one, not even close. And I also want to talk about Steve's Bike Shop on 23rd Street. Steve's got these electrical bikes are taking over. I didn't realize how big they are. My roommate in college has one. Now I see them all the time. Now that I've heard about it, I see them all the time in Bay Point. This is the new thing. You can pedal them. It's really kind of cool. He has a large selection of electrical bikes. He has the old-fashioned bikes, used and new. They repair all types, all models of bikes and electric bikes. They're located 1924 West 33rd Street, right across the street from Sam's. They do a great job. You know what? They've been there since 1979. Steve's a great guy, coaches swim teams and stuff like that. Wonderful man. Get out there. If you want to use one, you want a new one, you want an old-fashioned, you want electric, they got it all right there at Steve's Bike Shop. Tommy is outside talking, not doing his job. Jeremy, help me out. What's going on with the mighty Crimson Tide? Brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning.
Well, the Alabama basketball season came to a close in the Elite Eight. Just a tough night against Duke after a record-setting performance against BYU. That one-and-done format is just a challenge, and Duke schemed Alabama very well, bringing their defenders out about 2 steps beyond the perimeter to really interfere with the three-point shooting. And then Cooper Flagg against Grant Nelson, he got the better of him, which kind of relegated Alabama to having to take mid-range jump shots, and at that point you've cuffed them pretty good. So Duke hit the key shots. Alabama kind of hung around, and you thought, okay, maybe things will get in order, because you just knew it had been a lackluster, and they got as close as 6 and could never get.
Yeah, every time
they got to the 6 point, they could not get to where you get that 3 or 4.
We knew about the one kid, and we knew really about both of them, but that center, Josh, I mean, that kid, how do you shoot over him? He was blocking shots.
Yeah.
You get up close, you can't score it. And if he gets out on you, your threes, forget that. The guy, I wonder what his wingspan is.
Yeah, they're top in the country in defense for a reason. They got a great rim protector. Their guards are, like Jeremy said, they can extend and play 40 feet from the rim. And then they made Alabama settle for the mid-range game, which I know Nate Oates hates it. So they took a lot of floaters, a lot of 15, 12-foot shots, which is against statistically, when Alabama is forced to play that way, they do not play well.
Yeah. So Duke schemed it well. You could tell they had a plan in place long before learning, we're going to play Alabama Saturday night. Let's get to work. No, they had been prepping for a while.
Well, I'm listening to what you say as a coach. You got to be prepared for all of it. It's like the old days of the wishbone. You stop the run, you can stop the wishbone. You got to have some kind of passing. Alabama's my first team to pass out of the wishbone, but shouldn't he have been prepared for that, though? I mean, if that's not their game, it shouldn't have been a part of their game if they're going to take away both of them. I guess most teams can't take away both, underneath and out.
I think basketball at the end of the day is a game of runs, and it's about efficiency. And I don't think Alabama was efficient offensively because they were out of rhythm the whole night. They couldn't get paint touches, is what you call it. They couldn't get paint touches inside-out threes. They couldn't get paint touches to scoring at the rim. Duke took them out of their game.
Yep.
That was the storyline.
Were you surprised? I mean, especially him. He couldn't. It's like he couldn't hit anything.
They were keeping on one side of the floor. So Alabama's offense is the dribble drop stuff. You got to change sides of the floor, change the midline. And if you go back and watch all the ball screens they were downing, they were trying to keep everything funneled to the baseline. I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah, it was an excellent game plan on Duke's part. It really was. So,
coaching and players.
But while Final Four was certainly their hopes, and even beyond that, you look, all 4 number 1 seeds are playing for the championship this weekend. So maybe the committee got it right. So let's shift to the spring sports here. Alabama baseball, big one this weekend. Head to the Plains, 3-game set against Auburn. Friday night, we'll play there at Plainsman Park, 6 p.m., 7 on Saturday, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. They picked up midweek win over Samford and got 2 or 3 from Oklahoma to win the series against the Sooners, which is good to see. So excited about this weekend, see how they'll fare. On the ladies' side, they got 2 out of 3 from Georgia over in Athens. And so it's good to see softball kind of picking up 27-13 now on the season. They picked up a pair of wins in the midweek. They hosted Samford and Alabama State, got the win over the Hornets in the early one and win over the Bulldogs in the late one. They will head to Baton Rouge this weekend, 3 games on the Bayou. LSU ranked number 5 in the nation, so a real test for Coach Murphy's ladies as they head down to play in a pretty hostile environment. Just looking a little bit toward football, College Football News has released their spring strength of schedule and ranked the games. They have Alabama having the 4th toughest schedule in the Southeastern Conference. And then they go in and rank the ball games themselves. And if you want to know if it just means more.
It does.
The toughest game, according to College Football News, will be September 27th at Georgia.
I agree with that.
That one's circled. August 30th at Florida State. And Tommy mentioned, I think
that
Florida
was the second
toughest one. I think Florida State's got Alabama right where they want them. A new OC. We know what he's capable of because we've seen all those wrinkles and gadgets. Yeah. And if you play, what do you do defensively? Do you go after them and expose yourself where, you fall into some trick play? Do you play on your heels and then he just runs all over you? I mean, it's the wild card. So
a 4-2-5 versus that offense, good luck stopping it with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the trip to Tallahassee, second toughest game. 3rd, LSU at home. The 4th at South Carolina. I thought that was kind of an interesting one, a little higher.
South Carolina's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. 5th toughest game at Missouri.
I don't agree with this at all.
Yeah.
Do they not know where they play Auburn at?
Well, number 6 at Auburn.
That's wrong.
Okay. Number 7, Tennessee. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Wisconsin. Number 10, Vanderbilt. Number 11, ULM, and then number 12, Eastern Illinois. So that's the way they ranked Alabama's football schedule this season.
Who was the guy? Did they have his name?
College Football News here.
See, I disagree with that completely.
You know, I thought the Florida State game was pretty close to where it needs to be just because of the unknowns. You know, what are they going to show offensively? You got no idea.
Yeah.
And what's Alabama going to do defensively? Probably give up yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been our MO. We've not had a hard-nosed defense.
We got 8 guys coming back on defense, but that scheme, if they don't tweak, I mean, one good thing, Jeremy, you got all fall camp to get ready for that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you would Womack knows what he's doing. You would think they'll have it tweaked up to stop all phases of that offense. I guarantee they're going to score off that pass play. They always do against the Alabama team.
They do. So, and the teams Alabama misses this year in the conference, no Arkansas, no Florida, no Kentucky, no Ole Miss, no Mississippi State, no Texas or Texas A&M. So,
they missed some pretty good football teams then.
Yeah, they did. And then
I want to ask you though, go back to if Auburn's ranked, go put your mortgage on Auburn beating Alabama. We never have, we never will. You go into Auburn and Auburn's ranked. I don't care if they're ranked 25th. Alabama's not going to beat them.
Strange things happen at the Plains.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So we will see. And then lastly, I want to mention something that is kind of underneath so many of our conversations. And I sent this to you earlier in the week. Greg Byrne comes out saying Alabama is not as flush financially as Texas or the other top schools. So what do you think he's doing here? Does he think he's trying to continue to raise more funds? Is he just acknowledging a reality that Alabama and Mississippi and South Carolina are relatively poor states compared to
I think he's being
Texas,
honest.
Ohio?
I think he sounds exactly like it is.
Yeah. And can the fan base hear that with the neurotic expectations?
They're going to hear it, but Alabama. This is a critical year for DeBoer. He's got to win the FSU game. He's got to win 10 games this year. I think he's got to make the playoffs. You know it. They're not going to be happy.
Oh, the pressure cooker in Tallahassee on that first weekend
on both
sides.
Both sides.
Is incredible.
And I'll say this, down in the Plains, he better win this year too. They've recruited unbelievable. But Jeremy, we don't have the money as Ohio State. And when in your lifetime have you seen the top 10 players in the state of Alabama where Bama didn't get one of them? Auburn gets 8, Yellowwood, and Auburn, it's Auburn. But Ohio State come in here and get one of our best players, and Oregon, of all places, Oregon. Kids can't turn it down that type of money, and we don't have it.
No.
Not like Texas, not like Oregon, and not like Ohio State. We don't.
Right. And so Byrne is I think saying the quiet part out loud as it relates not just to the football program, but as it sort of moves through the entire program. He mentioned, and I know this is apples and oranges, but he mentioned, like Loyola Marymount cutting programs to divert resources elsewhere. We've always had the non-revenue producing sports that have dealt with Title IX or other facets of competition, and I think there's going to be real business decisions that have to be made for how you shore up these departments. The House settlement where you could potentially lose the cap on the number of scholarships is only going to increase this arms race where you go and buy the talent. Not much different than what Bryant did when he signed all of those players just to keep them from signing somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty smart. Was it wrestling? They never had a program. He had them all. It was unbelievable. He even took basketball scholarship and had players playing. Hey, the man was smart.
And Byrne noted that it's about $195,000 per year spent by Alabama on each of the scholarship athletes.
Well, didn't he say they were going to give more scholarships?
Right. That's the piece that's coming down the line. But how many can you give? How much can you stay at the table on this?
But the NIL is going to draw the elite players. So what? You're going to have more average players? That's what he's thinking? We'll have more average players? The elite players are going to be at these other schools?
I think that's where he's kind of tipping his hat. What can you afford? This is the best outside linebacker we can get you for $200,000.
Right. All right, let's take a break. We get back Andy Burst. I'm going to talk about some great people we have. I mentioned Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason graduated from Mosley High School. I always talk about using local companies, the backbone of Bay County, the backbone of Panhandle. People that grew up here, live here, take a lot of pride in what they do. Great company, family-owned, family business. They're going to do an incredible job for you. They're extremely honest, hardworking people. All of our sponsors, they use them at their business. They use them at their homes. This is one of the few things you can purchase that actually helps pay for itself over a period of time. If you're in the bar, if you're looking to get a new one, if your power bill's going through the roof, it runs all the time, the house doesn't get cool in the winter, in the summer, it doesn't get warm in the wintertime, you got to get rid of it. It's time to get a new one. You got to go with Stevenson Air Conditioning. Go with local people. They do a great job. I love those people down there. Debbie, all of them. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1, not even close. Patrick will be in here every Monday. You want your yard to look beautiful. Turf Pro Pest Control can make that happen for you. Give them a call. They'll come out. They'll come up with a game plan. They'll execute it. Touchdown. You win every single time with Turf Pro Pest Control. Listen to Patrick every Monday right here, 8:30 on ESPN Northwest Florida. Speaking of ESPN Northwest Florida, Andy Burcham this weekend, all Auburn basketball games you can listen to right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. That's who we're going to hopefully get back at 8:15. Andy Burcham. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Head first slide, 2 RBI triple.
Tomorrow night, the Atlanta Braves will be at the Miami Marlins.
A walk-off home run, and the Braves win it.
We'll have live coverage from Lone Depot Park in Little Havana starting at 6.
First pitch at 6:15.
Listen in a rich audio experience on your home for the Atlanta Braves.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 78 with a strong breeze out of the south-southeast at 23 miles per hour and gusts of 33 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 69. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some sun and a temperature near 79. Moving into Saturday, the same with a high of 79 and partly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Panama City, are you ready for March Madness and the best crawfish in town? Head to Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar. Watch 4 games at once, all tournament long, on the largest TV in Panama City. Wear your team gear and score big. Buy a drink, make a basket, win a free drink. Plus, unbeatable specials. 3 pounds of crawfish with corn and potatoes, just $25. Buckets of beer, $12.50. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Clare, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you, serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
If your neighbor, employer, or grandmother were traumatized by comments made on the Coach James Hale Show.
One thing people aren't saying a whole lot about, and I'll probably get in trouble,
but just wanted to take this moment to say, get bent. We're live from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, War Eagle. Live from the J. Michael Studio, it's the Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show with the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle, hey, Martha, Kenny, James, Jenna. Hey, you got a lot of Auburn Tigers down there at that church, boy. You know that?
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them there.
Hey, if you listen to Panhandle, Florida, there's a lot of War Eagles around. I'm telling you
They are
right
very
now.
excited.
From Pensacola to Tallahassee.
They don't even know Alabama's baseball team is in town this weekend.
Auburn. Man, you ever thought, though, basketball in the state of Alabama and Auburn, unbelievable, man. They might get it all. We got him. The man, the myth, the legend, Andy Burcham. Andy, unbelievable atmosphere in Atlanta. Jamie said it was electric. Talk about the atmosphere. I know you're busy with the headsets on and work and everything, but you had to be able to tell how exciting it was to be there in Atlanta.
Well, I'll say this. The reason Auburn wanted to have that number one national seed this year, one of the reasons was to play in Lexington, Kentucky on the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, and then play in Atlanta for that second weekend if the Tigers were the favorites. And Saturday or Friday and Sunday's atmosphere, especially Sunday against Michigan State, was unlike anything I've ever seen away from Neville Arena for Auburn. State Farm Arena seats 888 for basketball. They listed the crowd at 16,788. I'm not sure where the 100 empty seats were, but I'm guessing 15,000 of that was Auburn fans.
Yeah.
On Sunday, and it was an incredible atmosphere. At halftime, I walked back to the back of the gym, and one of the reporters behind me said, I've never experienced anything like this in an NCAA tournament, because there were so many Auburn people, so much of the Auburn family at that game. It was a remarkable atmosphere that helped send Auburn to the Final Four here in San Antonio.
I want to ask you, too, Andy, after the game, you got an opportunity to interview some of the players. You talk about that for a minute, the ones you interviewed and what they had to say, because they were pumped up, man. That game was unbelievable. When he gets hurt and he comes back in the game, the place goes completely crazy. Talk about the kids, what they had to say to you after the game.
Well, I mean, obviously they're excited because, none of these players, James, have ever even been out of the first round or the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament. None of these players were on that 2019 team that went to the Final Four. So this was a brand new experience for them. So they were excited about that. But let me say about that series of plays, and to the point where Janai injured his right elbow. I mean, he had dominated Michigan State. It was a performance befitting a National Player of the Year. And then he goes down underneath, or right, just to the right of the Michigan State basket, and stays down. And from what I'm told, he lost feeling in his right arm at that point. And eventually got up with Auburn's athletic trainer, Clark Pearson, and walked back past the Auburn bench. And he basically said, I'm done. So they walked him back to the locker room and took an MRI. Immediately understood that there wasn't ligament damage or bone damage at that point. And then he started to get some feeling in that right arm again. And I think he realized that, he was going to be okay and he could come back, which he did. And he came back on the floor, and when he emerged from the tunnel to the right of Auburn's bench, people are just erupted.
Yeah.
The crowd.
Yeah.
And he stopped and talked with Chad Pruitt and Stephen Pearl, and then jogged right past Bruce Pearl. Went immediately to the scorer's table and started on the floor, but it was a 2-shot free throw.
Yeah.
So he had to wait for the first free throw to come in the game, and then when he came back on the floor, the crowd just erupted again. And he immediately got a rebound, which he pulled in with his left hand. He's left-handed. The elbow was to his, the injury was to his right elbow. And he cradled that ball next to his body, and then was able to get the ball away. And then it came up and set up on the right wing of Auburn's offense. And Miles Kelly threw him a behind-the-back bounce pass. And Janai knocked home that three. And when that happened, guys, the game was over. It was done. And it was probably really done when Michigan State watched Janai come back on the floor, because they just simply could not stop him in the game. It was an amazing sequence of events that took place in that ball game that Auburn eventually won by 6.
Yeah, Andy, they showed his mother crying. It was unbelievable, man. It was like a movie. You can make a movie out of this thing. Did you talk now? When you talked to him after the game, what did they say to some of the guys? They ready?
Well, and I when it comes to the NCAA tournament, we are limited in who we can talk to and can't talk to. As a matter of fact, we don't get to talk to Bruce Pearl.
Wow, I
after
didn't know
the ball
that.
games. Yeah, that's always been that way. So we talked with Stephen Pearl and Ira Bowman. We talked with Dylan Cardwell and Miles Kelly. I know we talked with one of them. Can't remember who it was. And, it was an amazing atmosphere. It was just an amazing night for Auburn. And now Auburn is here in San Antonio. The team flew in yesterday. And we're right I'm on the balcony of my hotel room overlooking the Riverwalk here in San Antonio. Auburn will practice today at the Alamo Dome. It's a closed practice today. Auburn will practice tomorrow at the Alamo Dome. That's the traditional open practice where everyone can come in. So Auburn won't show you anything in practice tomorrow. And then we'll go elsewhere and have this real practice tomorrow, and then get ready on Saturday for the game against the Florida Gators. So this team is very excited about being here, but from the beginning, in spite of the celebration of winning that ball game on Sunday, the job is not done for this Auburn team. I think the national number one seed. Auburn gets Florida in the first round, and if the Tigers win that ball game, they'll either get Duke or Houston for the national championship.
Andy, Jeremy, good morning. From
morning, Jeremy.
Your vantage point here, interconference matchup in a national semifinal. The teams saw each other earlier in the season. Obviously, you were covering that game. Give us your thoughts on the Florida Gators and what this game will look like, and a familiar foe on the other side of the court that's from your own conference that you now playing to get a chance to go for a national championship game.
Florida may be the best team in the country right now. They certainly played like it. Since that win against Auburn, they've lost one ball game, and that was at Georgia. That's their one hiccup since. And that game probably cost them a chance to win the SEC, any chance, I should say, to win an SEC regular season championship. But they blew through the SEC tournament in Nashville. Had to come from behind, and a great come from behind win against Texas Tech in the Elite Eight on Friday. So they're a very good team, and they have added some depth to their roster since that game against Auburn. The Hanlon kid, that's the 6'11" kid that was injured in the Auburn game of the SEC tournament last year, gives them added depth on the inside. Their three guards are as good as any of the trio guards that there are in the country. Their inside game beat Auburn at Auburn, especially Condon and Hout in that game against Auburn. They beat Auburn 90-81 at Neville Arena. Gave Auburn their first loss in the SEC. They gave them Auburn its first home loss of the season. And it wasn't a fluke. Florida beat Auburn that day. And Florida's playing as well as anyone right now. I think one thing Auburn has to do is Auburn has to take care of its inside game, and it did not do that at Neville Arena against the Gators. And Auburn's got to do, I think, what it did to a certain measure against Alabama in the final regular season game at Neville Arena, and that's run Florida off the three-point line, because Florida is as prolific a three-point shooting team as you're going to find in the Final Four. So those are two enormous keys for Auburn on Saturday. Our coverage begins at 4:30. At 4:30 Central, and the tip-off is set for 5:05 on Saturday.
Hey, Andy, this is Tommy St. Amant. We were talking earlier, and these four teams, anybody can win the national championship out of these four teams. But do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage for Auburn to play that first game? Or does it matter? Do you think it matters?
I think it's an advantage for Auburn or Florida to play that first game, because then they've got an extra couple hours of rest before Monday's ball game.
Right.
I think that's the only advantage that you find, is that you get a couple more hours to rest up.
Right.
For the Monday championship game, should you win on Saturday. I think that's the only advantage of playing in that first game. Not that it's a disadvantage at all, but you get a little more time of prep. You get a little more time to get back in rehab, and just, physically get ready. I mean, you have an off day on Sunday, and I love that fact of the NCAA tournament. You don't play on back-to-back days.
Right.
The back-to-back days of the NCAA tournament.
And we got about 1 minute. I want to ask you real quick. Everybody wants to know, how healthy is he? What's it going to be like? What are you hearing?
Auburn had Monday off. He did not practice Tuesday or yesterday. Auburn flew down. He will practice today. And I think Auburn will get a better idea of just how healthy. He looks fine to me. But again, he's not been on the practice floor actively going through practice yet. This will be a big day for Janai at this point. Auburn will practice today at the Alamo Dome. Again, we'll hold the open practice tomorrow, and then we'll practice elsewhere here in San Antonio in preparation for that game on Saturday.
Andy, thank you so much. I know you're busy out there. Have a great time, and I hope and pray you get you a championship. Talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day, guys. War Eagle.
War Eagle. I tell you what, man. Who knows? I hope he's healthy. Without him, I don't know.
It's going to be a tall order. It's a tall order anyway.
Yeah.
I do think Florida is hitting at the right time, and basketball's all about when you peak, and, man, they are on a tear.
That Clayton kid for Florida is unreal. That's
I know one thing. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven, that's where you need to have lunch today. You're in Lynn Haven. Tommy, get out there. Go say hello to Pat. Have a great time, Beef O'Brady's. They got the 10 for 10 going on. And don't forget, every Wednesday, 10 wings inside for $9.99. Also, when you're out that way, go get you some jewelry. Go look at it. Russ and Amber do a great job. David Adams, go down and visit with them. They'll deal with you. They're incredible. If you want something designed just like you want for your wife, your girlfriend, or both, they can make it happen. David Adams. We'll be right. Y'all didn't laugh. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Go nuts.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And Josh is here, Tommy, James behind the glass, and Jeremy as always. We had a special guest out in the lobby. I couldn't believe he showed up out of the blue, a legendary coach. We'll talk about it. Hopefully the last time we get him in here. A couple things. Number one, I want to ask you guys a question. I came up with something, and it's Thursday. We can do it. College football's a long way off. But if we had the Final Four in football for 2025, here are the 4 teams I'd want to have on there. They're blue bloods. The TV ratings would go through the roof, and I'd love to see it. Here are my 4 picks. And then I want you to tell me what your Final Four picks would be for 2025 college football season if you had your way. Out of the SEC, I got the Alabama Crimson Tide there. Out of the Big Ten, I got the Ohio State Buckeyes there. Independent, Notre Dame. I figured TV in, too. I wanted it to be huge. And then, out of the SEC, not Auburn, not Oklahoma, but another blue blood, the Texas Longhorns. Now, am I right or wrong? Would TV ratings be pretty big for those 4?
They would be through the roof on that.
Jeremy, what would be your 4 favorite Final Four?
4 favorite Final Four.
College football 2025. If you could pick it and it would happen, what would it be?
I think you got to put the Golden Domers in there. You got to have Notre Dame, from a national branding standpoint.
Great minds think the same way. Go ahead.
I'll take the Crimson Tide out of the SEC,
Roll Tide, baby. Roll
but
Tide.
you're going to have somebody from the SEC. Then just because it's not going to happen, they're not there at this point. But I'd like to see Miami and USC and get both coasts involved.
USC and Miami. Wow. Okay. You kicked out Texas. You kicked out the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Is Buckeyes not a blue blood?
Oh, they are. I'm just, I'm thinking if you're going to turn on the TVs,
okay,
have the Hurricanes and the Trojans playing, and have
you get the West Coast, all those teams. You get the East. Yeah, I get it. Let's hear it, Josh. Give me your Final Four if you could make it happen.
Well, been dreaming about it since the Cam Newton days, but you got to have Auburn Tigers.
You got to have the Tigers.
You got to keep dreaming.
I got the Auburn. Got a good pick.
I like the Ohio State pick.
I like that too.
Money talks these days, right?
Yeah.
Not going to say Michigan. I think Texas is a good one.
Oh, good, man. Texas.
I like the coastal idea. I like USC. Throw a California team.
And my honorable mention would be Oregon out of the West Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
Either one of those.
All right.
Yeah.
Tommy, I need your Final Four. Who would it be for you? If you could just have magically make it
First
happen.
game, Ohio State and Alabama.
Roll Tide. There you go.
And the second game, Oregon and Texas.
Almost the same. James, give me your 4. If you could make it happen magically, Final Four 2025 college football, who would your 4 teams be?
I would love to see my Western Kentucky Hilltoppers there, but we all know
that's a money game. That's a money game.
It's not happening. But hey, it's the future, and you said I could pick it. I picked it. So in terms of teams that could actually make it, people that would watch, and it would be highly watched, Ohio State, Notre Dame for a game would pick up a lot of eyeballs. And give me Oregon and Georgia.
There you
my
go.
other two.
I wondered when somebody's going to mention Georgia. Yeah, that would be big time money also. Yeah, y'all did a great job. All 4 of you did a great job. Of course, mine was the best.
Yep.
I got the great state of Texas in there, the great Southeastern Conference of Alabama, the independent power of Notre Dame, and the Buckeyes.
You're pretty heavy Midwest. SEC.
I will.
Yeah.
I got to give credit to the Big Ten. They have won 2 back-to-back national championships. They do it again. The SEC dynasty's dead, over, gone, buried.
It may be there.
They get more money. They got more TV stay. We're in bed with ABC, and that's it. ABC owns ESPN. Did you hear the rumor? I don't know if it's true or not. I saw it, but sometimes they print these things that are lies. The game day.
That was April Fool's Day.
No, it was the day after April Fool's. Game day, for financial reasons, will not be. It'll be the first time since 1993. They will not be visiting the campus. It was going to be done in the studio. College game day. Is that false? Has anybody heard?
I don't believe it.
I don't believe that.
No.
If it was true, I don't know if Nick would keep doing it. Would he just be happy going up to the studio up there? Where's the studio at anyway?
He might not even be there. He might be assigned one of those other games. They said there's only going to be 2 people, and I don't think he was one of them. They'd be assigned doing the other games. Yeah. He wouldn't do that. I don't think he would either.
Jeremy's talked. Didn't you talk to him about his language?
So I'm thinking this might be April Fools. One of the quotes was, "We just can't afford to keep flying all over the country with truckloads of equipment every week. Chief of faulty engineering."
Yeah. That's exactly what they said.
I didn't read that part.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Hey, we don't know if it's true or not true. I'm going to keep the rumor going and just better radio talk.
Chief of faulty engineering, Mike Brady, he said, "Pat McAfee's salary alone tripled our cost, and we simply can't keep doing it. Have you seen how much that guy eats? The catering budget's ridiculous."
I'll be honest with you. I watch Fox do theirs. They do a good job. Fox did a good job. When I watched them, when you were out of Texas,
right.
Both of them were there.
They were there.
I was watching both of them. I started watching Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job.
Yeah, that's the network. Like I said, we don't get much exposure on that network at all. And Texas had the home game, so we were big noon kickoff. But yeah, they do a good job.
All right. Another question for the four experts I have here today. Year in and year out, which school is the most overrated every single year? And you could add one to it, but here's the ones I threw in there. If you want to add another team, do it. USC, Tennessee, Oregon, and LSU. Oregon pulled it off for like 13 weeks, and they got beat pretty good by the Buckeyes at the end of the year. Which of those, and if you have another team like Texas A&M, Notre Dame, they made the national championship game. Who is always most overrated?
I know John Moore's probably listening, and I'm going to get a text from Penn State.
I was going to say that.
State, okay.
I was going to say that too.
Tommy, you can only use one. Who is it?
Penn State.
Penn State's always the most overrated team going into this season. Yep. James, who you got? Who's the most overrated every year in college football?
I'm going to go with Notre Dame just because they have so many sports writers coming out of there that they all vote number one.
Might be controversial, but last couple of years, maybe Clemson.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. What about Miami? We always think they're going to be good, and they never are. John McVay, do not listen to what I just said. He might be being up. But I mean, really, I didn't have Miami in there, but Tennessee gets a lot of hype. They hadn't done anything in a long time. They were in the playoffs this year. Alabama wasn't. I'll give them that. USC with Lincoln Riley, you would think they get all the love. The blue, you just gave them love to be in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it. LSU, Brian Kelly. This is a critical year for him. Mm-hmm. They say they got the roster for a championship. He made a comment the other day that Alabama thinks they own the SEC or something like that. We do. I don't know if he went and looked who wins it the most, but I can see LSU being on that list.
Yeah. I mean, I think the expectations there sometimes are not met.
All right, on 3, recruiting. Here are your top 10 recruiting schools. This is early, but it does mean something. Everything's happened earlier and earlier. These are not transfers. This is recruiting. Number 1 in the nation right now, and they're doing a great job. We just mentioned him, LSU and Brian Kelly. Number 2, Lincoln Riley's doing a pretty good job at Southern Cal. Number 3, with all the money, Oregon. Number 4, Ohio State just got a big pickup. They just jumped up quite a bit. The Ohio State Buckeyes right now on 3 recruiting list, number 4 in the country. Number 5, you're talking about a team that doesn't do much and always get a lot of hype. Jimbo Fisher was there. Texas A&M. He had the greatest class ever, and he didn't win with it, but he got fired with it. Number 6, Alabama Crimson Tide. When is the last time we've been listening to Alabama being ranked number 6 in recruiting? It's always been 1 or 2 for 17 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
They'll move up, though.
And they got rid of the guys that made it happen. I didn't understand that. Number 7, Clemson. Number 8, Penn State. Number 9, watch out, is do or die this year. Number 9, the Auburn Tigers. He's got to win this year, and I think they're going to win big. I think they're going to be good. Number 10, Tennessee Volunteers. Ohio State has 8 commitments. 8 commitments so far. Chris Henry, I think, is their top one they got. They did the points already. LSU had 94.1 points. Southern Cal's right on the heels, 94 points. Oregon, 93.1, and Buckeyes, 92.7. Odds of winning the national championship going into the 2025 season. We got another round of transfers. They'll do it again, but it gives us something to talk about. Number 1 right now, who's the number 1 team best chance to win the national championship? Tommy Standemine, who is it?
I'll say Ohio State.
You're right. The Ohio State Buckeyes plus 500. Who's number 2? They open up together week 1. Anybody know? They open up week 1. Biggest game all year long. The Ohio State Buckeyes Texas at number 2 at 650. Oregon is also with them at 650. Number 3 will actually be number 4. The Georgia Bulldogs plus 700. Penn State Nittany Lions plus 850.
There you go.
And Notre Dame plus 1,200. That's your top teams going into the 2025 college football season. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Jeremy, you going to hit the road or what?
Yeah, I'll let you come in and talk to our guest out here.
Yeah,
So.
well, I appreciate that. We'll see you next Thursday.
I'll be here.
I might see you. No, I'll be in Alabama. I'm going to Atmore. My brother and his family are all meeting there. His son's father owns all this land there. We're doing something out there.
You got to be going to Atmore.
You know what's in Atmore, don't you?
Country.
No, something else.
Yeah.
Prison.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, visiting family. We'll have a little visit there. Hey, the local 115 downtown historical Bay County. Kyle Vandergrift does a great job down there. Go check it out. We think you'll love it. He does everything the guy touches turns to gold. TK, Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design it, they build it, commercial, residential, they do it all. But if you're looking for a roof, that's who I'm going to go with, Vandy Roofing. They are number 1. Turpro Pest Control, Patrick does a great job. Stevenson Air Condition, Steve's Bike Shop on 23rd Street. Go get you one of those electric bikes. They do an incredible job. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your exclusive home for March Madness.
And it goes for the win!
We'll bring you every game live.
Hits the three to tie it!
It's the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, college basketball's premier event, and it's all right here.
And the dream is alive!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The dream, yes!
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 78 with a strong breeze out of the south-southeast at 23 miles per hour and gusts of 33 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 69. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some sun and a temperature near 79. Moving into Saturday, the same with a high of 79 and partly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Pier Park, get ready to shake things up. Paradise Nutrition is now open. Craving flavor and fitness? We've got you covered. Loaded teas, protein-packed shakes, gourmet coffees, and refreshing drinks. From our signature Jimmy Buffett tea to Reese's Shake, Paradise Nutrition has over 600 flavor combos. Need energy? Appetite control? We've got add-ons like boba, biotin, collagen, and probiotics. Plus, try our donut whole shot appetite suppressant. Paradise Nutrition, Pier Park, next to Target.
Krispy Kreme and Fruity Pebbles is doing a Yabba Dabba Doo-licious donut. The two brands have collaborated on a classic with Fruity Pebbles milk-flavored glaze. But you must hurry to try this new flavor. The new Krispy Kreme donut is only available April 3rd through the 6th, and only at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937. Krispy Kreme Donuts, where you get them hot.
Welcome to It's the Coach James Hale Show.
But I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You know, Thursday's always special to me. I get these high-end sponsors in here with me. The legendary Tommy Santamont. Josh is here. Jeremy's here.
I don't hear much.
Which one is yours? Is that yours? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I'll turn this some more. That you're okay? You sure? Okay. Maybe that's mine. That's real loud.
That's mine.
Is that yours?
Mine.
I'm turning all of them up loud. There you go. But
it's even louder.
Anyway, the man, the myth from Southwest Florida is Estero High School. Put them on the map. Matter of fact, his run for the state championship, he broke my record at Cape, and I think Sam's. I think we all won 12, 13 games at one time. Nobody's ever won 14, or whatever the number was. At 14, he won. Yeah. Joe was the first one that did it. 14-0, plays for the state championship. Hall of Famer, the legendary Joe Hampton. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, we're talking between breaks. Joe Rolls, another coach down there, an unbelievable guy. What a legend he was at Mariner High School. Had just passed away. How long has it been? About 6 months.
Yeah.
And they waited to have the life celebration a little bit later. And we were talking about his funeral. What was there? There was another funeral down there that I didn't know about.
Ted Ferreira, who was our athletic director, who coached at North for all the time and everything.
Who was that, Joe?
Ted Ferreira. He was an AD at Estero for a long time.
Okay. Good guy. Really good guy.
You know, you probably knew Dub Kendricks, who was legendary at Fort Myers. Way back. That was the athletic director all the time. Bill Blakemore and all those.
Bill Blakemore know him real well.
And stuff. He was at our.
Oh, really?
The last school I was at South Fort Myers. He was down in Naples for a long time.
Yeah. Tommy was on the board of the
FIAAA
state athletic directors. You knew Don Bridges out of Polk County, all those guys.
Yeah.
Did Sam get involved with that when he was at Fort Myers?
No, he never did become AD. You know, Dub Kendrick was AD at the time that Sam was there.
Okay. Who's the AD now at Fort Myers? Sammy?
No, I don't know who it is, but Sammy's just doing the coach.
The whole time I thought Sam had been the AD, and I thought you were too. I'm losing my mind.
No, I didn't want to be the AD. I wanted to do something. I know what I'm going to do is be.
Josh is the county AD.
Okay.
God bless him. I wouldn't.
Well, Dave LaRosa is a county AD in Lee County now. Stuff down there.
And Coach LaRosa.
You know, Coach?
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. Wasn't he the head coach of Cypress?
No, he was assistant there all that time. He may have been. Dave Smith was there at one time. And, stuff.
Yeah, I like him. He's a good guy. I thought he'd be retired by now, but he's still doing it.
Well, they tried to get him. He was going to retire, and then they had a superintendent change, and nobody had prepared anybody to take his job, and he talked him into staying another period.
Hey, Joe, you know, when we heard about the school of choice, I actually think that one of the first counties was in Lee County, where this school board attorney said, look, we can't win in court. They're going to go where they want to go. And they fought it for years up here. Community schools, if you go to another school, you got to sit out a year unless you physically move. And I know you hear the same thing. Everybody doesn't like it. They don't like it. You know, the kids transferring left to right, all these different schools. It's helped me. I was okay with it. We did okay with the transfers. But is it still cutthroat down there in Southwest Florida?
Well, somewhat. You know, hey, Julie. And they have somewhat the counties can, the states, you can go anywhere you want to. I mean, that's the rule basically in Florida, that you can transfer or go from, you don't have to live in a particular zone. But a county can set in their own boundaries, so to speak, that you can't go here unless there's a seat available and this type of thing. But they still find a way to make it happen if it needs to happen.
Controlled open enrollment.
You see so-and-so, well, he transferred or puts in to go to this school and he gets accepted, and he says, well, maybe he don't live there. No, he lives there. He just didn't live at where he was at the other school, that kind of thing.
When my last year coaching, we were at Mariner, and the basketball season started, all these new kids show up because they were good in basketball.
Yeah.
And you would have guys playing at 2 or 3 different schools, different sports. Are we seeing that here in Bay County too? There's different sports.
You're seeing it. Going back to the controlled open enrollment, we now have the aspect of virtual school, right? So virtual school gives you that extra element. It gives you that extra element to play wherever you want. You can play at 30 different schools in 1 year if you are at Bay Virtual School. It's essentially the loophole in the thing.
I hate it, man. I didn't know you and Tommy were there at Florida State at the same time. I did not know that.
Yeah, we reminisce about a lot of our old teachers over there. We had the same ones.
Joe came up. He was Jared had a visit up there to Alabama, Florida State, and Joe was at the game. I saw him. Remember that? That was a long time. We had just played Wakulla, and we went to Tallahassee to the game, and Joe was there. Yeah,
that's when Coach Bowden was there watching.
I don't know. No, I think we lost that one.
Okay,
we lost that one. Jared passed for like 300 yards, but we got beat in that game. But Joe called me. He goes, "I just read in the paper, Jared throwing the ball to the field." I said, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm in Tallahassee." "Well, I'll see you tomorrow then, or I'll see you today." That was cool, man. You went up to a lot of FSU games.
I usually came at least to one or two, during open week or something when we was coaching. I always came to the spring clinics and stuff back then. They had the spring clinic and all that stuff. And
why did both of you, with y'all's degrees from FSU, I mean, it's unbelievable. I saw your degrees, your master's, doctorate, everything, but you both chose to teach and do this. Was it just you didn't want to get in the medical field? I mean, you had those degrees. What, you just didn't want to use them?
If I had to do over again, I would like to go in the medical field.
Yeah,
because Joe and I was talking about our teacher we had for anatomy, Dr. Behringer at FSU, and I loved him, and it's great. That was one of my favorite classes. I really enjoyed it. It's hard now. It's really hard, but I enjoyed having cadavers in there where you can. And dissecting our monkeys. Joe remembers that.
Well, my thing was that, I love playing sports and football, and I wasn't big enough to go to college and play, but I thought then that I wanted to coach. I had a brother that was ahead of me that was a PE major at Florida State, and I kind of just followed his footsteps, but I knew I wanted to coach and stuff because I wasn't going to be able to physically play it or whatever, but I wanted to
When did you move to Florida? I've always thought you grew up in North Carolina.
I left the Carolinas up there when I was in the 9th grade, and we came to Titusville, Florida, when the Cape Canaveral and all that was just starting up.
Well, that's close to Tallahassee. Why an FSU fan, not a Gator? What was the...
He's smart.
Well,
what did the Gators not have?
Because my brother went to Florida State, and when I went up there, I said, I went to Florida one time. Our high school coach took us up there, and I bought a shirt at the box. Florida, and I never wore it.
Before we get off there, I got to tell you something. You knew Coach Bowden. We go up there to see him all season. And we go up there, Mickey's taking us around, me, Tommy, and Billy. And so she goes, well, I think he's up from his nap. So Tommy's all excited. He opened the door real quick to the office, knocked on it, opened it. Coach Bowden was getting up out of the couch, hit him in the head, knocked him back on the couch, and Tommy just held him like a baby. You okay? You okay? Felt so embarrassed, but he acted totally different on Coach Bowden. I mean, he usually pretty good, but he treated like I would treat Elvis Presley. That's how he treated Coach Bowden. He loved him.
That's an April Fool's joke right there.
But you did run in that office now. Huh? You did run in that office quickly.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you did. He did.
I don't remember that at all.
Well,
I remember Coach Bowden came in, his hair all messed up.
he just woke up. Yeah. That was funny, but no, he loves Coach Bowden.
Yeah, I did.
You'd pick him up over here in this golf tournament.
Yeah, he did a lot of FCA stuff with us over here, and he'd come over here and play golf, and we'd go by and pick him up and bring him out.
We had him twice for our All-Star Game banquet, and stuff. Yeah. And the last one we had the 20-year deal. I flew up to fly him down on the plane and all that.
Well. 30 seconds. Nah, dog, it went by fast today, man. I can't believe you're here. I'm glad you came by and saw me. Where are you doing lunch at? Where are you buying?
Do what?
I'll tell you after here. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow. 104.3. James, great job. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
In Northwest Florida, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Tournament plays here.
4-3. Got it.
Listen to the madness.
The San Diego State